Hey everybody, Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast. Thank you for checking out another episode. Today's features Caleb Hubbartt of Hubb and the Heavy Hearts. Had a great time catching up with Caleb again. Talking about a brand new record. He's got a 5-song EP coming out this week. And we get into the stories behind some of these songs, play some live acoustic. And we got a big old release party happening on Friday night, March 29th, Redfish, Bluefish in St. Charles, Missouri. So come out, support, grab a copy of the EP on vinyl and digital release coming the same day. So you can add it to your favorite playlist. But yeah, you're going to learn all about it on today's episode. Hope you enjoy this one. Do want to remind you, as always, Rock Paper Podcast is brought to you by Friendship Brewing Company in Wentzville, Missouri. Serving up all your craft beer needs. Over 25 rotating taps out there. All kinds of tasty beverages. Delicious food like burgers, nachos, flatbread pizzas, pretzels, and all kinds of tasty eats every Friday throughout Lent. They're doing Fish Fry Fridays over there, so come out and grab some fish. And they've got some cool new beers out there to try out for limited time only. They're doing a run out there in the Wentzville location called Bunny Love, an imperial red ale infused with flavors of carrot cake and crafted with a blend of carrot and beet juices, along with a delightful pie spice fusion. Just in time for Easter and stuff, so check that out. Sounds interesting for sure. And new canned beer you can come pick up on a 4-pack of Thirsty Amiga. It's an amber lager inspired by the dark and amber lagers of Mexico. Another new beer called No Problem. It's a hazy IPA. So come pick up 4-pack cans of those and take home with you and have a good time with Friendship Brewing Company. All kinds of live music happening out there on the weekends. You got kicking off the weekend on Thursday, March 28th. They're doing Singo Bingo Night with Golden Oldies. Friday, March 29th, you can catch Robbie Burt at the Wentzville location. And Saturday, March 30th, Michael Marciano. Over the summer, they launched a second location out in Flint Hill, Missouri, just outside of Wentzville. Serving up same great beer, but brand new dining experience out of the Fly High Kitchen. All kinds of great times out there as well. And you can actually see the brewery out there. They've got the tanks right there. It's really a unique experience. And great live music on the weekends out there from Friday, March 29th from Howard Levinson. And Saturday, March 30th, Fireside Duo. You can find their full beer menu, food menu, concert calendar, and much more at friendshipbrewingcompany.com. And follow along on Facebook and Instagram. And if you are in the Hannibal, Missouri area, come visit them up there too for their location along with Sidekick Barbecue up there. Plenty of great opportunities. You can also catch Friendship Brewing in a lot of your other local bars. They're now on tap in several locations around the greater St. Charles County area. So get involved with Friendship Brewing Company, friendshipbrewingcompany.com. That is it for me. If you need me, you can always find me, rockpaperpodcast.com. Hit me up on the socials. Email me, rockpaperpodcast@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you. And with that out of the way, sit back, relax, and enjoy a brand new episode with Caleb Hubbartt of Hubb and the Heavy Hearts.
A podcast is kind of like it's like a radio show that's not on the radio. It's on the internet. Does that make sense? Uh-huh. Yeah. That's also like my mom. It makes it sound more confusing, doesn't it? It sounds like this.
What's up, yo? This is Caleb with Hubb and the Heavy Hearts, and you are listening to Rock Paper Podcast.
Rock Paper Podcast.
This is beat paper, paper covers rock. Rock beats is the Shane covers non-stop. Never know what new kind of guest that he's got coming at you. Live and direct on the spot. Could be rock, folk, country or hip-hop, jazz. All kind of folks that he has. Could be an artist or a comedian to make you laugh on the
Rock Paper Podcast.
double-decker fudge round, rolling round town. Shane coming at you live and direct from ground zero. He's your hero, he's your bestie. Rock Paper Podcast with Shane Presley.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Hey, everybody. Shane Presley here. Rock Paper Podcast coming to you from St. Louis, Missouri. Hanging out with returning guest, Caleb Hubbartt of Hubb and the Heavy Hearts.
Well, howdy, folks.
Hey.
How are you?
Welcome back to the show, bud.
Good to be here. Good to be here.
This is very cool. I'm excited to catch up. We got a lot happening for you and the band.
Things are happening.
Yeah, man. So got a lot to talk about. I looked it up, man. It was like September 22, I think, when we did last.
Oh, was it that long ago?
Yeah, which is wild to think about. But we're that's what's fun about the show. Just kind of like for me, at least, the whatever. Just cataloging all this stuff, like having all these episodes and be able to go back and look at that. And then on that episode, we did a couple of these songs live, which for me, just haven't following the kind of, evolution of the band as things are developing and stuff. Like we got, kind of these live kind of stripped down arrangements for the show, and now we have the full arrangements captured in the studio. We got horns on these songs and everything else. Like it just you kind of start with the initial vision, and now it's grown into what the final product. So
yeah, it is cool. I'd like to go back and check that episode out and see, because that was before the studio. That was before the production went into them, and like, they blossomed,
Yeah.
They're like little children. They just grow and do their own little thing.
Yeah. But that's like, that's what I love about it. Like I said, just fun to kind of have these, this time stamp of what a moment in time that a couple of years ago now, or whatever, year and a half ago, whatever it was. And like, and then like I said, now we got this, final product. We got a brand new EP ready to go on, March 29th, it will be the official release and release party.
The drop. We
got the CD copies, and we have vinyl copies.
Vinyl's in the mail.
Yeah. And so I think it's I was really excited to hear that you're pressing this on vinyl, so that's super cool. But yeah, so let's talk about this night, man. Well, this is a big night in the making. We've been a lot of hard work's gone into this. And, so March 29th, St.Charles, Missouri, Redfish, Bluefish, Hubb and the Heavy Hearts album release party.
Yeah, it's going to be great. We're going to have a full lineup of musicians. We're going to have an 8-piece band out there. So, we got 2 keyboards, trumpet, saxophone, backup vocals, and so we don't get a chance to bring all them kind of people, all of the people out that often. So it's going to feel good. It's going to be a good night to celebrate, people that took, had a part in making this what it was, because I couldn't do it without them. I don't know how to play horns. I wish I did.
It's also tricky while you're singing and
it is,
playing guitar. So.
It's like, if I had another hand and another couple set of lips, I could probably do that, but I don't. So yeah, it's going to be a great night, man. We're looking forward to it. Sinead is going to open up the set. She actually did backup vocals on the album, and that's sort of the first time we worked together. And then we've played a lot of music since then together, me and Sinead have. And so her band's going to kick it off, and she's got some really good originals as well. So it's going to be a good night of celebration.
Yeah,
and it feels really good to do it at Redfish because that I played there a long time. Before I even moved down to Texas, I played at Redfish quite a bit when it was relatively new. Played in the parking lot for some other parties, And so Cliff's real supportive of local music around here. And so definitely feels good to do it there. And we're actually going to have the CD and the vinyl for sale at the record reunion. So if anybody doesn't get a copy that night, they can go down there and pick it up right off the shelf.
There you go.
Yeah.
Is Sinead sticking around to sing with you on the songs then?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we're going to do, and she's actually a really good percussion player too. So I think I'm going to make sure she's got a tambourine or a shaker in her
There you go.
hand, you know, that's an element too that, like it's missing sometimes, and there was so much production that we put into the CD, where it was like, how it's always tricky to try to recreate some of that live, where you got, I think we have steel guitar on some tracks, harmonica and stuff like that. So, getting that back out on the, live is a challenge sometimes. So percussion is one of those things where, when you don't hear a tambourine, nobody necessarily notices, but then when you hear it in there, you're like, oh, that was missing,
Yeah.
So, yeah. So yeah, Sinead's going to definitely stick around and then we're going to probably showcase some tunes with her, and with the band as well, with her singing lead on it as well. So
all right.
some covers and stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Cool, man.
It'd be very cool night.
$5 to get you in the door.
$5 at the door.
And then, like I said, we got, we'll have these beautiful CDs and vinyl ready to go. So come out and support and, some live local original music.
Yeah. Going to be a great night of music. Going to get funky.
Yeah.
There will be funk.
Yeah.
As
man.
I like to say.
So obviously, following along with you, I knew a couple of these songs, like I said, and I knew to expect some funk.
Right.
You've leaked some of these out as singles already along the way, and I think I texted you one day that after listening to it on Spotify, the next suggested it lumped in JJ Grey and Mofro.
Right.
Which I thought was really cool. Which one of my favorite bands, and to know that Spotify is hearing this kind of a funky influence, it links you up with them.
Yeah.
I was so I hope it's kicking up for a lot of other people's algorithms also.
Yeah, it's that's been one of the interesting things to see, because when you list stuff on Spotify and Apple and all that stuff, you get to see where it's getting played at and where it's going, and it's kind of crazy to see these songs travel the world. We got placed on a playlist in Argentina.
Nice.
And it's gone pretty well down there. And so it's really cool to see them travel, and take off, and what they get placed with, and then to try to put your music in a spot. Playlisting is a big thing these days. It's if you want to promote your music, you want to get on playlists. It's kind of like the radio today, and trying to think about how your song fits in next to this or that, and so it's been a challenge, and it's been cool too to look at it okay, this will fit here,
Are you getting you mentioned Argentina, are you getting the come to Brazil at all?
I hope so.
Yeah. 'Cause there's it's kind of a meme around, almost around here locally, a lot of rock bands, friends of mine that, people, it's cool that people are listening to their music. But it's just funny that they're texting or, get on socials or whatever and message them tell them to come to Brazil. And it's yeah, that's cool. But we appreciate you listening, but it's it's kind of hard for us to get to Brazil.
It's an expensive journey.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't even, tour the States, let alone going international.
It's hard for me to get to Indiana.
Right. Yeah. So, it's flattering that people, but it's logistically, that's a tricky one to pull off. So. Yeah.
And I hear of bands, I think, Matt Lesh went over to France or someplace recently, and I'm just I want some of that. Give me some of that my way. But yeah, I'd love to go down to Brazil and Argentina and all that stuff.
Yeah, but so maybe tell them to tell some friends.
Right. Yeah. Spread the word. We'll make it happen.
If you book them, they will come.
Right. Feel the dreams.
Yeah, I just think it's cool, man. They, like I said, that music's you travel, letting you those songs are getting out there to the people around the world. You'll be able to make an impact on somebody else's day, like and I just it's really cool, man. Especially like I think something like By My Side, which is the single we wanted to feature on here. This is a track 1, and we did like I said, this is one of those that I mentioned from the previous episode. We did kind of a different arrangement on it, but now hearing the horns like really brings this song to life. But this is one I think in particular, like you're talking about, like is getting some nice reception, because I do feel like this song in particular has a lot of heart to it. I feel it's sounds a lot happier than I think than necessarily the lyrics are sometimes. Like, it's I can, and there's, which is, it's the fun thing with music, kind of does that little mind trick on you that you, but a
lot of people think it's a love song, when you hear it, it's like, By My Side and like all that, and it is, it's an ode to, our furry little friends that are always, near us, throughout our lives. Yeah. And, it's definitely got an element of like, oh, I lost you, but you're always there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So, and I think everybody can relate to that a little bit, anybody that loves animals.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just, it's been a little while now, but I had a 17-year run with my beagle pup, and it got to a point where she was getting pretty rough there at the end, and it was tough to let go. But that's exactly what this song, like, hearing these lyrics after going through that stuff, like, is really resonates and things. And I
had the same. I had the dog that I wrote that after, her name was Pinky, and she lived to be 18 years old, and she was, the last couple of years, it was just like, how are you still alive? And so there's a couple lines in there that kind of touch on that, you know what I mean? Eyes all cloudy, she couldn't hardly see for a while there. And, but just a great dog, and just, also it ties in a little bit with, that was really my dad's dog. My dad passed away in 2014. And so it was sort of a last piece of a connection that I had to my dad, like a living thing that I had to my dad. So there was a whole lot of emotions in there. And then when this song started developing, it was like, okay, well, this is all therapeutic, to some degree, so it's a cool tune. It definitely is got a place in my heart for sure. Yeah, man. And like I said, adding the horns just kicked it up another level, man. This was sounds really good on the album, so take a listen right here, right now.
Get boy. Pretty little baby sitting in a corner. Your sad eyes want me. It's almost over now. Bring me your loving. Come sit on me. You want my heart now. And make me satisfied no matter where. You'll always be there, always be there by my side. No matter where I go, you'll go there with me. Always be there by my side. Don't cry, little one. I got you now. Rest now, little one. Your easy days have come. The dark days over now. Sun's coming out. And I'm just worried you'll leave me far too soon. No matter where I go, you'll always be there. Always be she's gone away, and I got to stay. No matter where I go, you'll always be there, always be there by my side. No matter where I go, you'll go there with me, always be there by my side, by my side, by my side.
This whole record really, like, I mean, sounds fantastic. I was really impressed with everything.
Yeah.
You know, giving it a proper listen. And so where do we record all this at?
We did Blue Lotus right here in
there you
town.
go.
Yeah. Yeah.
With Mr. Paul
Mr.
Niehaus.
Paul Niehaus, the man.
Yeah.
He's really responsible for a lot of bringing out a lot of that stuff. You know, he's if anybody that's ever worked with Paul knows he's just a really talented guy, and you know, just a good person, good energy. You know what I mean? So we couldn't have picked a better place to do that and to put these in there. A lot of the horns, you know, that was a lot of Paul's influence bringing it out.
Yeah.
We were hoping to get Paul out on the CD release party, but he's already booked. So it's like, that would have been really cool to get him in there. And, you know, cause, yeah, it was a really good experience, and we took our time a lot, you know. We avoided the urge to rush it, you know, and kind of got it to a level, and then took a step back from it from a month or so, and kind of tried to go in there with fresh ears and say, okay, well, what else does it need? You know, what else are we missing? And you know, brought in some other folks, you know, and just sort of kind of rounded out some of those horn elements a little bit more, you know. So just like anything, sometimes you take a step back from it, you start to hear it a little bit more, and you're like, oh, that's what it needs. That's yeah, of course. That was so obvious, you know.
Right.
But when you're so, you know, minutely focused on it, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
you don't see it.
Yeah. There was Life Away is one that kind of surprised me a little bit. I think it was a little more kind of a reggae feel to this one.
Yeah, that one's a really cool one. Well, you know, everybody in the band's really big reggae fans, and so it was nice to have a change of feel, you know, and really tried to represent with the selection of songs a good cross section of like lots of influences, you know.
Right.
They kind of run the gamut of moods and everything, and so didn't want to go in and just do 5 funky tunes, you know what I mean? But yeah, Life Away is a cool one. It's another one too that lyrically is a little bit challenging to the listener, you know.
Yeah.
It's like it's gonna put you it's gonna make you think about it, you know what I mean? And you could, some people listen to it and they're probably like, oh, that's, you know, like oh, like they see a negative connotation there, and it's like, well, not really, no, you know what I mean? You can look at it on the other side of it, and there's obviously religious context there, but so yeah, I think it's one of those songs that you can take either way.
Yeah.
You can take it in a negative, you can take it in a positive, and being a songwriter, I like that. I like that stuff, you know, of let you decide whatever you want to think this is what it is.
Choose your own adventure.
Yeah, choose your own adventure. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
I guess I was really influenced by those books.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No, I do. I agree. I like, you know, sometimes I always ask like what the story around the song, or, you know, and I'm not necessarily looking for people to spell it out exactly what they were going through when they write, but sometimes, because some of those, like, it is, you know, maybe I even come up with something different in my own head to the story or lyrics, and, like, you know, I'm like, this is what it means to me, and then it could take away from it, you know, like, you know, so it's like, but you know, just so some of that stuff is just it's nice to kind of paint your own picture with it, you know. It's like wherever these lyrics lead you to believe and stuff. So
yeah, and I like that. I enjoy that, the ambiguity of songwriting. It's cool. It's a cool thing to play with, you know, where it's like telling a story, but you're kind of also keeping things vague, and you know, like, I think the Beatles were the masters at that, where, you know, all these elements, and, you know, even guys like the band, you know, you listen to the band's songs, and there's all these like elements of religion and spiritual things in there, but it's really vague. It's like, it's just little pictures that put in your brain. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, I see that.
Did you watch? Speaking of Beatles, did you watch Yesterday, the movie yet?
Is that the one with that? What's his name did the Lord of the Rings guy did, or is that a different one? That was
I don't know.
Was it on Apple? All that one, like the
no, this
the
is
old-
this is it's on Netflix right now. But it's a movie where the guy's like, there was like some, I don't know, flash power outage or whatever, and then like when he comes up out, like he was hit by a bus, and when he comes out of it and all this stuff, like he says something about his girlfriend gives him a guitar and he plays a Beatles song, and then they're like, "Oh my God, that was beautiful!" Like,
oh yeah,
you write that? And he's
I
like,
knew about this movie, but I
Yeah.
never seen it. Yeah,
So like he finds out that nobody in the world knows about the Beatles, and so like basically starts
right.
recording as many Beatles songs as he can remember because and then
What a
like,
gold mine, right?
yeah, and then he becomes like the biggest star in the world type of thing. I didn't finish the movie. I fell asleep the other night, but it was pretty interesting concept. At least I don't know, that didn't, for me personally, it didn't. And again, I don't know the ending yet, but
Right.
it didn't fully deliver as well as it wasn't a great movie yet.
Right.
At least, like I said, I probably should watch the full movie before I
right. If we
give my
review it.
review. But I was like, there was moments where I was like, okay, it's like, but the soundtrack definitely saves it. The
Right.
fact that you're playing some of the best songs ever, kind of thing. And
Right. You can't go wrong.
but it's just it is an interesting concept to think about what would a world be like
right.
without the Beatles, like how much music they influenced and stuff. And
Yeah, no
So-
doubt about it. Like they're, I don't think you can get away from their influence. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? They're in everything.
but
Yeah.
it's so
I'll have to check that
definitely
out.
makes you think a little bit about that, like but it made me really kind of appreciate a lot more. Like, I mean, I've always been a fan, but like listening, especially when he's doing song after song and
Right.
kind of thing, you're like, oh man, yeah, that was another great tune.
Yeah. And the lyrics, and then if you go and because everybody wanted to know, we talked about that just a second ago about like, they want to know what this is about,
Yeah.
and they hounded these guys and they're like, I signed a thing with Lennon where he was like, we were just making up stuff that sounded good together.
Right,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? And we picked a word, and he goes, you're thinking about it too much. And to some degree, he's right. When you're writing songs, some of that is that,
Yeah.
and you are searching for things that are maybe mechanically right or good, or they just pop in your brain and you just go with it,
Mhm.
and that's the really kind of the magic of songwriting is this like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Why did this, like, there's the time goes around, Gretchen was a leader. That's the first line. I don't know any Gretchens. I don't know where that came from. I don't know where that story is,
Right.
and I just kind of started building this story around this and just sort of kind of trusted my intuition and just go with it, and see where it takes you.
Yeah, what the hell's Toe Jam football?
I know, right? Monkey fingers, Coca-Cola, you know what I mean? Those guys. I think there was some drugs involved in that one. That's
Yeah.
my theory on that song. Maybe a little LSD.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
I like, I think McCartney said something about the song Yesterday, that originally I think he said scrambled eggs as a placeholder that he didn't when he was writing the song.
That was the name of it for a while.
I think that's the story. And then
That's funny.
and so I think he was on with Jimmy Fallon and he's saying, so then Jimmy did scrambled eggs as like the song and stuff.
Yeah, they sang it
and
like
like so something
I want to
along-
hear that version. Yeah.
something along those lines. Like it was just a placeholder at the time until,
Yeah.
and then he came up with the
Sometimes you got a melody and
Yeah.
you know how the word's going to sound, and then you're like, well, what is the word?
Yeah.
And then once you usually have a couple words, then it starts to like, weave its little way through
Sure.
through the life or through its life.
That's saw Steven Tyler on Stern's show talking about that. Like that's why a lot of his lyrics make no sense, is because he's like just comes up with something that fits in there.
Right.
It's like it's just a word that
Yeah.
fits in there phonetically and like
Sometimes it's
inside
a
the melody.
very mechanical process. Sometimes, it's very much I I just need this thing. I need something that sounds like this. And then, and then you try to go and you try to, pick something around it. That's why some of this great songwriters like Jason Isbell, and those guys were, they'll take it and they'll do that mechanically, but then also have these like beautiful stories and this, sort of kind of all these metaphors and these just beautiful imagery. And it's like, all right, now I got something to work towards,
Sure. What's one of your favorites lately? Like, is there a new artist or something you just recently discovered that you've really been burning up? Like, speaking of Isabel and stuff, like some of the
is it I think it's Red Clay Strays. Yeah, I really got into those guys recently. Really, really cool stuff. Really good. It's a lot of that music that I tend to fall in love with these days is obviously country inspired. It's got the Western feel, but it's not. We Brent Cobbs, we've bonded on Brent Cobbs quite a bit. And we see the Steel Drivers, that kind of stuff is very the Steel Woods. I always say the wrong way. I haven't seen the Steel Drivers yet. They're coming, I think, though, right? Yeah. But yeah, Red Clay Strays, man, they've been really getting a lot of time on my radio. Yeah,
I came to Hawthorne recently in St. Louis, and I wanted to go. But I didn't make it there, but it would have been a cool show to see there for sure.
They're getting pretty popular.
Yeah,
rightly so. They're super talented.
Yeah.
I really like the singer's voice quite a bit, and it's very kind of classic-y, sort of almost Elvis-ish, what I mean? But good songwriting.
Yeah. Nice, man. Yeah, I know. I was just like, it's something I just recently I saw this guy, I guess he's kind of influencer or whatever you want. He's just a guy on Instagram I follow, but he wrote a thing about what's a song that makes you think of 60 degrees weather and needing a light jacket. and so people started submitting all their songs that fit that, and he compiled them all into a Spotify playlist. And
nice.
So I got on there the other day and I hit play and I just kind of went for a ride on there, and a lot of it there was quite a few I knew, obviously, some and a kind of wide range of years and talent and genres and everything. But so I remember hearing quite a few I liked that I knew, but then it was fun to hear some different stuff that I didn't know, and that's why I kept listening. I was like, so I discovered quite a few different artists on there, and like I'm always trying to find something new that I like, and so that's why I like asking people what they're listening to. Maybe maybe something new I haven't heard of yet. And
it's actually been kind of a cool thing about getting listed on some of these playlists.
Yeah.
Cause some of it's in very independent music driven, some of it's not, some of it's a mix, like the Argentina playlist. There was lots of like Latin funk bands and stuff that I would probably never heard of, and so it's really cool to be exposed to that stuff where it's like, this is breaking out of my algorithm, because how that goes. Spotify is going to kind of drive you in their own algorithm. And so you got to kind of bust out of that sometimes, or else your playlist is just going to be the same stuff over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Well, let's play another tune. Kind of touching on what we mentioned to start the show, some of the different previous arrangements we did on the live, but we even did something different this time, and we stripped it away to just you and an acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
And last time you had drums and bass and electric guitar in your hand, I think, at the time. So
we had Taryn and Mike on that one, and so
So this time we're doing a little different take, and I thought this would be fun. Kind of has that kind of like what it's like writing these songs, for you in the studio or wherever or bedroom or however you're writing. Like that's kind of how I picture just sitting on the couch, picking along on the guitar and seeing what happens. And we did a song called Red Line that will be here on the record, and this one, you said about the devil.
Yeah, it's sort of kind of the idea of like the devil personified in like a serial killer or just an evil person, you know, that's just walking around the world just like, don't mess with me.
Sure.
You know? You ever seen No Country for Old Men?
Yeah. I think
there's
I don't know if I've ever actually finished the movie or watched the whole. I don't know. I probably should do that because I always hear great things, and for some reason there's some of those movies that kind of just. It's
definitely a slow burn. Yeah. That one is. But
that's a Coen Brothers, right?
Brothers,
yeah. I mean, I'm sure I'll love it because I like almost everything they do. And
yeah, it's a slow burn, but at the end it delivers for sure. But there's a he's like a hitman, I guess, you know, during that. And like,
I'm familiar.
That's kind of like the perfect example of what I'm talking about in the song. Is just like, my life doesn't mean anything to me, and you know, I'd watch the whole world burn, you know. And so
they this sounded great, man. Like, this was a cool take with just you and the guitar, and but like I said, you can hear the full arrangement on the album.
Mm-hmm.
This was cool, man. Thank you for doing this today, sharing this take. You know, like I said, this is some of my favorite stuff. You keep getting kind of stripping it down like that. So
nice and intimate.
Yeah.
All right, this is a song called Red Line. Go tell it on the red line. Tell them I'm walking that way. You see me coming in the moonlight, looking for a soul to take. Float on down the river of lights, reaching the fountain and dream. Each man makes his own life, but I don't take it away. Go tell it on the red line. Tell them I'm walking that way. You see me coming in the moonlight, looking for a soul to take. Man, ain't nothing but a roadblock on my way to fame. You might think you know me, but I don't give a damn. Go tell it on the red line. Tell them I'm walking that way. You see me strutting in the moonlight, looking for a soul to take. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. You can't hide, so let it ride. Might want to stash it away. Look deep down inside your soul, feel it slipping away. Go tell it on the red line. Tell them I'm walking that way. See me coming in the moonlight, might wanna run away. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Fear and war only make me grow. Keep on listening. Watering the hatred and the soul. Keep on listening. Before I swallow the world, keep on listening. before I swallow the world. Before I swallow the world.
You mentioned in No Country for Old Men got me thinking, though. I did just recently see an article online that I guess some kind of team of psychiatrists and stuff or whatever. And
I think I saw that too.
And they ruled or decided that he is the like the most accurate description or depiction of a psychopath in a movie or something like that.
Yeah, I saw that too, and I was like, "Wow."
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So I thought that was interesting to hear about.
A good actor, very good actor. Yeah.
You know, some of them are too played up for various things for movies, but I thought that was funny to the most accurate one on it.
It's very subtle the way they did it, and in Coen Brothers fashion, of course. Very very subtle.
Right.
It's not on the nose. He's not really trying to be over the top. Serial killer.
Yeah.
It's like just like this guy's scary because he's got so much apathy. He just does not care. And it's a great movie. I love it.
Yeah. Well, now I'll have to go check it out and get the full effect on that one after I finish watching yesterday, since I got to finish that.
Got to make a list, right?
Yeah, right. But man. So again, March 29th, Redfish Bluefish will be your opportunity to come out and grab a copy to take home. But we have a few other dates locally that you'll be able to come out, and one of those was you've been getting some dates down at BB's in
Jazz, Blues, and Suits.
Yeah, down in beautiful St. Louis, right on the Broadway, and that's such a cool room, iconic. A lot of history in the walls, and many greats have been on that stage, and
feels really good to play there. It really does. It was like where I was telling you earlier, sort of kind of a bullet. What do they call it? Bucket list, bucket list moment for us when we played there. Just to, you get up on some of those stages and it's just, there's something there, there's all that energy in that room, comes back to you. You feel it a little bit. So,
I used to go down there quite a bit. I still, when I can, but when it was a good run there through my, maybe late 20s and early 30s, where I was down. I wind up, I would go to maybe a pageant show or something early and wind up on Broadway, bouncing between the Blues Triangle, of course, R.I.P. to Beal on Broadway.
Right.
But that was such a great room too, and I used to have a lot of fun seeing all my friends playing there, and then of course. Just kind of make the rounds. Who was wherever? There's always good music on
all them late night bars down there.
Yeah. But then that led into me being at Broadway Oyster Bar all the time, and then that turned into me getting a job there.
Right.
I was like,
the rest is history.
Yeah. I was like, well, I'll get paid to listen to music now. So I was, it was a good time, man. I had a lot of fun that run, but getting to see all kinds of great music down there for sure.
Yeah. I'm super glad that they're revitalizing BB's, because it was kind of scary there for a minute. I was like, is this place going to close? Because man, that would suck.
Yeah.
It was always the place I would, anytime I would have people in town, I'm like, let's go see a show.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't even necessarily know who's going to be there. What I mean?
But we'd get a lot of people come up to Oyster Bar and they'd be like, we're not really feeling this, show for tonight. And I'm like, well, what are you into? Like, we want some blues. And I'm like, well, you need to go up the street, because that's where your more traditional blues, stuff. Typically, we had Oyster Bar had all kinds of various music. So,
right.
But anyway, it was kind of fun to have an idea of what, the note, I usually had a pretty good idea who was playing there and stuff from my list and things. And so I was like, I could point them in the right direction.
Right.
So,
what are you into?
Yeah.
What's your poison?
Because we'd get all, of course you get tourist stuff down there, all the people that they're not even from St. Louis and looking for something to do.
Yeah.
But
good stuff.
But so you'll be at BB's with the band on April 26th and May 23rd. So mark those on your calendar too. Great opportunity to come out and grab a record there too.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Other than that, we'll be all around the place, always playing somewhere.
Let's talk. You mentioned, all this. What about the artwork? Is there, who helped you? Did you, any significance to the artwork for you, or are you?
So I've had the cover for a while, and I had that vision in my head, and I paint and I do other things. I'm a bit of an artist myself, so I've had that with the idea of I'm going to paint this. And so I had mocked this up digitally. And so I just grabbed a lot of little digital artifacts and this woman's face and this hair and the space and all these little like mushroom tree things in a road, and I had that all assembled, and it didn't look really that good, because it was just me kludging things together, with, Photoshop or whatever it was. And, but I was going to paint it. Right. And so then, when I started thinking about a CD cover here, an album cover, I was like, well, what about this? And actually what I did is I fed that through AI.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so what you're seeing there is me feeding an image that I created into AI, and then that morphing it and then morphing it into the back cover too. And then, so it's kind of cool. It's sort of like a, sort of kind of got to use the AI thing,
Sure.
That's real trendy now. And I wasn't really trying to be trendy. It's really just, I'm lazy, right. I didn't have time to paint it,
Yeah.
But I'm happy with the results. It looks pretty cool, and it's definitely, definitely kind of special to me because I've had that in my brain for so long, and to see it come into an actual like tangible item. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
This is cool.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about another one from. We did do. We mentioned "Time Goes Around."
Yeah.
Earlier, talking about that's what I was thinking about. I was thinking, we did too. But I was so. Time Goes Around. We did do a live version as well. Like I said, we kind of touched on the story about it a little, or kind of that is on the record, but we did do a live version of it, just you and a guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And this one turned out real nice too. Another great song. And on the album, you'll hear more horns to go with it. This is another funky one, and it sounds really great on the record. But like again, with you and just a guitar, like I feel like you can really dive into these lyrics a lot more.
Yeah.
And this was a cool take on it for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
So what comes in? You feel like anything comes to mind with this song?
This one is definitely, it's sort of kind of influenced by my love of science fiction, I would say, and just it's very much some creative sort of takes on a story behind, reincarnation. I got into Buddhism quite a bit a while ago, and I've always liked the idea of reincarnation, the loops, everything's a loop, and so that's kind of what that's playing on, is that, time is an abstract thing that we've created, and we don't know what happens after we die, and what's the journey, and, how, some people just might disappear and be in different timelines. Who knows, right? It's all this, sort of stone brain thinking,
Yeah.
But, it's, it's kind of about time travel mostly.
Sure.
All right, cool. A little Time Goes Around. Gretchen was a leader, hung on every word, till she wound up leaving for another world. She kept on believing, she couldn't ignore the signs. One day she'd leave him, tell him all she learned. Listen to me, and time won't break you down. 'Cause I have seen it. Time, it goes around and around, round and around and around and around. Yesterday is leaving, rolling down the line. This train won't be slowing till you're in the ground. Listen to me, and time won't break you down. 'Cause I have seen it. Time, it goes around and around. Time, it goes around and around, round and around and around and around. I'll be there, rolling through your life. I'll be there in time. Oh, time. You can say it's better on the other side, but you can't know the reasons we all live and die. Listen to me, and time won't break you down. 'Cause I have seen it. Time, it goes around and around. Time, it goes around and around. Time, it goes around and around, round and around and around and around, round and around and around and around.
If reincarnation is real, what do you have you thought about what you would want to be come back as? Or
I don't necessarily believe in like that you would come back as something else. I think that we live these lives and I think that we live them in a loop or in some fashion and maybe another universe or whatever it is, it might not be linear like we think. Right. Mm-hmm. But I think that every time we go around, we get a little better and we're trying to sort of reach enlightenment, nirvana, if you will, And so, people who are, maybe a little bit more in touch with that, they might be closer to reaching that, so that's kind of what I believe. And that's kind of what the song is sort of kind of thinking about. It's like, we got lots of go arounds,
Sure.
Maybe, or we might just die and then nothing, there might be nothing, who knows? Right.
I do. I mean, there's a lot of like unexplainable things. I think that like, there's some weird coincidences that happen, like even in my own, like, kind of also going back to the story about losing my dog.
Right.
Our next pup, and granted they're both dogs, but she was doing stuff that's exactly the same as my old dog.
Right.
And it's like,
what is going on here?
It's like, they never met. Right. They never had, it wasn't like she learned some of this behavior from her.
Right.
And granted, they are both dogs. So there's that, I understand. But there's it's very weird that to think that they would do exactly the same, and it's like,
right.
So it's almost like, you feel like maybe there's something more here. Why this dog is with me, why, especially, when we adopted her, it wasn't like we, it was just like kind of happened to, we were looking at a lot of different dogs at the time. And then it was like, what's the dog that nobody's been interested in,
Right.
and we found which is now Storm, and so. But anyway, it was just like a random kind of thing, and it makes you think about it. Like it's just like
Right.
this is strange that all these things are lining up this way, but.
Yeah, I think deja vu has always mystified me in that regard.
Yeah.
You know, because to me, deja vu feels like I've lived this before.
Sure.
I mean, and I almost like I dreamt it. You know, and then so you start to think about, well, what are dreams?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Where's our mind going there? And what are we connecting to that? You can dream the same thing somebody else does, and have all these. There's lots of those things like that where it just there's other things out there. There's something that we don't know about, where there's some cosmic energy that we're all connected to or something. Yeah. And I don't think we just go away when we die. I think something else happens, and I also feel it. You've lost your mom. I've lost my dad. You feel that energy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's not, to me, it never felt like it was just gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I actually kind of felt like it was inside me a little bit more than it was, and it just gone.
Yeah. Have you ever touching on that? You ever had like any of the things with him? Like, do you like get in maybe dreams or or visions, or feel like they say like these certain things, and they'll be like they came to visit you in the dreams and stuff, and. There's a lot of that kind of stuff out there, but like I didn't know if any personally are experiencing anything. Like.
No, not necessarily. I will say that my uncle, who was really close to my dad, he says that, and my aunt, they think that he's haunting them because my dad was a prankster, loved to scare people and stuff like that. And so I was like, well, that would probably be true. If he had the ability to do it, he would, but no, a lot of it, I feel more of like sometimes his guiding voice, you know what I mean? I feel like that's kind of a thing that I manifest a lot of, like the big decision or anything in life that I need guidance on. It's just like, I feel like I can almost hear it back there. You know what I mean? And so,
yeah.
But I don't think I've had any kind of like specific, any sort of like haunts or anything like that, or any visits.
I've had a couple things that, again, when it happens, it's like part of it. One of them is the angel numbers. People believe in angel numbers at certain things, and I noticed. And again, it's part of just coincidence that I happen to keep, but like I keep noticing 12:34 as a time for some reason.
That's weird, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, why? And like that's when I'll be like, look at the clock. It's 12:34, and it's just like,
really?
It's strange that that it keeps. And part of it's probably my work schedule, my lifestyle. Like I keep I'm doing the same. Like it happens a lot,
right.
But I guess it is strange how many times it does happen to where I notice that it's 12:34. And
I've had other friends that have said that there's particular number sequence that always pops up in their life. My buddy I think it's 107.
Yeah.
He's like, that's just my number. I don't know why. It's just my number,
And then I remember when Mom passed, there was like, a couple days later or whatever it was, something. I remember having like this super vivid dream, and kind of freaked me out, but also like felt at peace.
Yeah.
I felt that like there was like her in this like red evening gown, like hair done up, and like and looked nice, and like she was going to some fancy party or whatever kind of thing, and I just felt like that was her saying everything's fine,
right,
So I'm like I felt comfortable with that, like it wasn't like, but it was just like when I woke up, it was just like. I'd had a lot of dreams over the years, but that was one that was like super vivid.
Yeah.
And just felt like that there was something different about it.
Right.
It was just like,
Yeah, you almost feel like you're being visited a little more than anything else.
So that one,
Yeah,
that one's definitely some thinking about it, some of that stuff, and so it makes you does make you feel like that. I feel also even just our brains and are still untapped for the most part of like the powerful powers of our brains and stuff.
I feel like we're more like our brains are more attuned to like an antenna than it is anything else. You know what I mean? I think it's a sophisticated antenna. Sure. Because a lot of what we perceive is not necessarily reality. You know what I mean? Like it's our reality, of course. But you mentioned dreams, and I had stopped smoking weed back in June. And
so I was hoping you said yesterday. I just stopped yesterday.
It's been 5 hours. And I was not prepared for the amount of crazy dreams that was going to come back into my life, because that's a thing when you are a pothead, is that you don't dream. Yeah. You don't really dream a lot. And then when you stop for that, you really flush your system. Yeah. It's like this rush of like crazy dreams. And I was actually keeping a journal for a while because some of these were like insane, and my girlfriend at the time was like, you need to stop telling me about these because these are weird dreams. I'm like, I know. Yeah. But I think I did have, now that we're talking about it, I did have my dad visit me a couple times in dreams like that. It was nothing, really vivid like yours, but there was definitely some involvement in there. Yeah.
So. And I think I can't remember who said it now. I remember hearing a comedian talking about like quitting smoking and then like you feeling like you have like superpowers, like you remember everything,
right.
Where are my keys? So right here. Right. It's like
I have enjoyed the clarity back in my life for sure. It's everything was just a little foggy before, and it's interesting.
I don't know. I never messed with the stuff, but I can. I guess it would probably help for that sense. Like it just kind of puts you in a deeper sleep where you're not, it's not really getting that brain activity like that.
Yeah,
kind of
I don't know the particulars on why it doesn't let you dream all that much, or maybe you still dream but you don't remember them, or I don't know what it is. But tell you what,
I had a weird dream the other night. It's the first time I'm saying this out loud, but this is kind of the weird.
I always think of your Black Sheep. Remember Black Sheep, Tommy Boy? He's like, picture this, a circus midget,
right? Yeah,
my grandma on a tricycle,
whips and chains, and like,
oh my God, are you crying?
Yeah. I'll put your mother on the phone. Yeah, I saw a good meme of that one day, and it was like that, and it's like. Going to my local tattoo artist and I'm like, what do you want in tattoo? And it's like going on with that and made me laugh really hard. So, but I had this weird dream where it was like, kind of like a horror movie, kind of like, it was pretty much exactly like, The Fog.
Okay.
Like, or The Mist or whatever, one of those kind of things, like where this like fog came in to the town. That I was in my head, but when the fog came in, it was like cartoon version of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like we're in the fog.
Nice.
But people were like deathly, scared.
Right.
That
it's turtles.
It was the 1990s cartoon version of Ninja Turtles, and all. And I don't know. I was like, man, what the hell is going on in my brain at night? Like, why is this like?
Why
I got this weird mashup of things, pop culture stuff, and So I was like, I don't know what I had for dinner or drink that night, but
sometimes it's like that where you're just like, whoa, hold on.
I remember waking up and I was like, what the hell was that?
There was a couple when I was keeping the journal, because when you start to journal like that, dream journal, you get better at remembering them. You get better at remembering the details. And at some points I would be because you dream 5 or 6 times a night, you get into cycles, and I'd wake up and I'd be like, and I'd write it down, and then
you try to go back to it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And then there's some people that, what do they call that? Lucid dreaming, where they can, they say they can control it. And I've never had that, it's always like, I'm on this ride. I don't know where it's going.
All right. Yeah.
We're talking about Ninja Turtles and The Mist, and I'm just here to party.
Yeah. There's some weird ones, man, but it's fun. It's sometimes I probably should do that. I should probably start writing these things down. Maybe I'll write a song out of them or something like.
Yeah.
Maybe those sparks.
If anything, it's just interesting, you know what I mean? To see what's going on there. And then I'm going to actually go dig that out now that we had this conversation. I'm going to go dig that journal out, and, cause I think I did 20 or 30 pages of it, and then I trailed off.
Yeah.
I'm not, interesting enough, haven't been dreaming a ton lately. So I think I leveled out a little bit from my.
Well, tell me if you have a missed Ninja Turtles one tonight.
Right.
All right. We got one more live one we did. And this is a cover, and maybe give you a little glimpse of, we do have these band gigs like this release party, but you do, there are moments where you can catch Hubb solo around town, and these are nights where it's usually just you and a guitar like that.
Yeah. And
this is one that you recently shared up on your socials that I got a kick out of, and I thought it was fun. And this is a cover of Lake of Fire, and I think this kind of also feels like it ties in well into the theme of your with Red Line and stuff
all
too.
These
so
devil songs.
So, but this is a classic Meat Puppets / Nirvana cover. I think maybe when your version, really took me back to the Nirvana Unplugged.
Yeah.
Where the bad folks go when they die, don't go to heaven where the angels fly. Go to a lake of fire and pride, see him again on the 4th of July. I know a lady who came from Duluth, bitten by the dog with a rabbit too. Went to the graves a little soon, flew away in on a hollow moon. Where the bad folks go when they die, don't go to heaven where the angels fly. Go to a lake of fire and pride, see him again on the 4th of July. People cry and people moan, look for a dry place to call their home. There to find a place to rest their bones, while the angels and the devil try to make them their own. Where the bad folks go when they die, don't go to heaven where the angels fly. Go to a lake of fire and pride, see him again on the 4th of July. Where the bad folks go when they die, don't go to heaven where the angels fly. Go to a lake of fire and pride, see him again on the 4th of July.
Yeah, I think I saw some people doing this on TikTok, and one guy in particular was doing it with a real country vibe, and I thought, well, that's a cool take on this, you know what I mean? So I've tried to get a little bit of that, what I bring to the table there, in that. So
yeah, man,
it's a cool tune. Always been one of my favorites. So.
But follow along with Hubb on your socials, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and click subscribe on YouTube for more of those videos. And but you can catch them coming to a town near you, hopefully, bouncing around all over the St. Charles, greater St. Charles area, and making your way downtown like
Yeah. I play all over. I get over into Illinois a lot nowadays. Lots of Central Illinois gigs probably coming up. It's been a lot of time in Springfield, and so get all over the place.
Yeah.
You know?
What do you, speaking of videos and things, have you thought about maybe a music video for one of these songs? Or
We've done lyric videos for all of them, and we're actually going to do a pretty cool lyric video for Shake the Heavens, which is going to be the final song released the day of our album. That'll be the final song. So yeah, we're doing a lyric video there, and that should, I think from what we've discussed, he's going to play into a little bit of the imagery with the album cover, which will be cool. But yeah, a music video is like, I've been thinking about it, and I'm like, what would I want to do? You know, how would I want to do that? You know,
could be fun to come up with a storyline and all, you know, having all the band as characters and especially with
like how good of an actor am I? I don't think I don't think I'm any good at that. But you know,
that'd be just fun to play a role for the day. I think that would be interesting to see you guys have some fun with that. And
I've always apprecited like Foo Fighters, how much they really go all in on their videos, you know, and really just, you know, there's some of them that they are the characters, you know, and
what's that one, like Dave's like wearing like a blonde girl's wig and stuff kind of thing, like he's like a little girl and stuff. And,
I can't remember the song.
I can't remember what song is it. Monkey Wrench maybe or something?
It was one of the earlier ones, right?
Something like that.
Yep. So yeah, we're kind of thinking about that, you know, of like what would that look like, you know. I like live performances. I like showing that, but you know, there's a little bit of a difference between a live, you know, filming a live video, or you know, doing an actual video. Yeah, so
you could do. You can even do both in there. Like, right. It'd be fun too. Like, play characters going to see a Hubb and the Heavy Hearts show or something like that.
Right.
You know, you stumble into a bar and you guys are up there playing or something.
Yeah. I kind of like how Tyler Childers has done it in a lot of his. He has the band as sort of kind of not really the band. They're sort of like characters in the video, you know what I mean? And it's just like, it's like they just happen to go into this bar and this band's playing, and you know, but it's the band. Yeah, I like that kind of idea about stuff like that. You know, So yeah, we're definitely tossing around the idea. Sure. Just thinking about what makes sense, what feels right. You know, that's a whole other element that I don't know. You just never think about. You know, like I never really. I've just spent so much time thinking about getting the audio right, you know what I mean? And then videos were like, oh, okay. Yeah. And lyric videos, those are kind of their own little, you know, genre, don't know element. And those have been fun. I've gotten some off Fiverr that were pretty cool. And then the last couple I did myself. And then a gentleman named Tyler is doing this new one. He's a local guy. I can't remember his last name though. But that should be fun because, you know, I love giving back to, you know, local guy that's doing this, local artist.
Yeah, he's good at what he does too.
I've seen a lot of his stuff. So we're looking forward to that. It'll be fun. Yeah.
I just think, I mean, I know though we're along from the days of MTV and things, but I do think videos are a cool way to kind of show some personality along with, you know, like highlighting a song and things. So
yeah. It's definitely coming. Just figuring out what that's going to be.
Yeah, man. And we got a bunch of talented guys around town with the cameras, so be fun. But something to think about. Yep. What about? Do you have any goals with this? Like as far as would you like to do some more regional touring or do anything like that? I mean, like we joked about Brazil, but like, is there anything a little more in the cards for this year, you think? Or
I think getting out of St. Louis a little bit more, and we always kind of have quite a bit. We actually, ironically, don't play in St. Louis all that much. You know, more so we're playing out in Illinois and mid Missouri and all that kind of stuff a lot. So yeah, I mean, I think that's, I'd love to be able to put on tours, you know, and go out for a week or two, but it's so hard these days with everybody's schedule,
Well,
linking up.
when you got 8 people in the band too.
Right. I know, right? So I've definitely thought about doing it a little bit with kind of a one-man band thing. I do a lot of looping and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably one thing I'll do a little bit of too, is developing some of these songs and developing some original materials where it's a set, 1 to 2 hours that is just me being able to do those songs in not the same way, of course. You can't reduplicate a bunch of talented musicians on stage with you, but doing them in a way that is sort of still kind of, more than just an acoustic guitar.
And it could be a good way to get your foot in the door for some rooms and be like, hey, like if you guys like this, I can come back with the band and we can do it upright. And, it's like kind of build a name in a different market and, and you can sell some CDs. Like, hey, if you like the way this sounds, like we can do this too. So,
yeah. And that was sort of kind of one of the big things about not only just doing the CD because we wanted to and needed to, and it just came out. Right. But also of like, well, you gotta have a product, gotta have, something to leave them with, and it's not enough just to say, well, we got some stuff on Spotify.
Yeah, sure.
You gotta have some t-shirts and some vinyl albums and some stickers and all koozies and all that stuff,
Right.
I think I saw something the other day that said bands are actually merchandise salesmen with a 30-minute intro pitch or whatever. And I was like, that's pretty true.
Yeah.
Because most of the touring guys, that's where they make their money. They're not making a lot of money off stage,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. It always stuck with me. Like, I remember seeing Head PE years ago, and they were, they've been a band for 30 years now or whatever, and Jared, their singer, like was appreciative that they're still doing it, like he's had some different people in and out of the band over the years, but they're still able to make a living, playing music. And he got off the stage and he sat there and took pictures with everybody that came to the merch table, was happy to sell them a shirt, and shake their hand. And it's like he didn't have somebody else slinging his merch. They were doing it themselves. And like they were, but just like that stuff, like the personal thing goes a long way with all that stuff. Like I'll happy to throw $20 in for a shirt and give you guys some gas money to get you down the road. And but having that, just like I said, it meant a lot that, even at that level and stuff, like, that they want to take a picture with everybody and like, share a moment with you. And so
that's definitely what it's all about, is that connection of like you're enjoying what I'm doing and I'm here. And like you said, he's out there doing that himself. He's not, the temptation is to get a pretty girl to sell the stuff for you. You know what I mean? But like you get so much more out of it if it's like, hey, you finish your set and then you go down there and you shake everybody's hand, take pictures and kiss the babies.
That's but yeah, hopefully maybe we'll sign a bunch of these on the 29th. Snap a bunch of selfies and keep this thing going, man.
Yeah, get the momentum.
Yeah, maybe help fund the next studio session and get the album EP number 2 going.
Yeah, we got the songs already kicking. I think you'll probably hear a couple of them that night. Actually, you get a little peek of some new songs, so that'll be fun to do.
Yeah, and like I said, this as a full collection will be as associated the streamers that same day, the 29th.
Yeah, yeah,
so
it'll be released in its full entirety on all of the various platforms.
Yeah, so you can add to your playlist at home and or your whatever you're doing and jam along to throughout the week and stuff, man. It's like I said, that's how I survive at work, man. Having tunes going all day long.
Yep. So we got to have them.
But yeah, man, I appreciate you spending some time with me today, and I can't wait for this party and get down and get funky with you.
Get down, get funky. That's what we're going to do.
Man. It's going to be a great night. And like I said, it's March 29th, redfish, bluefish, $5. Hubb and the Heavy Hearts and Sinead, and you got 8-piece band with you all night long, and we're going to be
some all-stars, man.
Kicking
Some
out the
straight
jams.
musicians, yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, yeah.
Yeah.
I always love chatting music with you, man. So appreciate you having me back, and yeah, we'll do it again.
Absolutely. We'll do it again soon.
Yep.
Thanks, buddy.
Yep. Same here, bud.
Bye, everyone.
See ya.